What if the key to seeing what has been hidden from most people isn't a ritual, a drug, or a miracle, but what's on your plate? Imagine a tiny gland the size of a pea tucked between your ears, acting like a lens. Over time, that lens fogs. Ancient writers spoke of inner sight. Modern science describes melatonin rhythms and mineral balance. Between those two stories lies a practical path. 7 foods, once sidelined or treated as taboo, that may gently prime the pineal gland and sharpen the sense of subtle perception. The pineal is real. It's a small endocrine organ that helps regulate sleep-wake cycles through melatonin production, and it responds to light. In many esoteric traditions, it became the third eye, a symbol for inner vision. Some ancient texts, Gnostic writings, fragments attributed to early mystical communities, describe seeing beyond the veil. They speak of inner organs of perception in language that reads like metaphor and experience. I'm not saying those texts are canonical or universally accepted. I'm saying they are part of a long human conversation about how we perceive what we call real. Science gives us the anatomy, tradition gives us the symbolism, nutrition gives us tools. If you want a simple, downloadable 7-day food plan that walks you through these foods and how to prepare them safely, subscribe and tap the link below. Try one change at a time. Notice slowly. Modern life works against the pineal in predictable ways. Fluoride exposure, mineral imbalances, oxidative stress, disrupted sleep, and diets low in the right cofactors can all make the gland behave less efficiently. Some of those influences can incur calcification or simply make melatonin rhythms flatter. Certain nutrients, antioxidants, and gentle detox-supporting foods are not glamorous in mainstream conversation. They are often ignored, even treated as forbidden by taste, convenience, or culture. I'm calling them forbidden not because they're dangerous, but because we've largely forgotten to use them as allies. A quick essential reminder: informational only, not medical advice. Consult a healthcare professional. Now let me walk you through each of the 7 foods, what they are, how they may support the pineal system, safe ways to include them, and the symbolic role each plays in clearing the lens of perception. First, sea vegetables: kelp, nori, wakame. These ocean plants are dense in iodine and trace minerals that feed thyroid balance and overall mineral status. Why does that matter for the pineal? The pineal sits in a mineral environment. Systemic mineral balance influences calcification processes and hormonal signaling. Iodine and other sea minerals can help maintain that balance, and small regular servings of sea vegetables reintroduce a mineral variety modern diets often lack. Culinary tip: add a thin sheet of nori to a salad, make a miso-style broth with wakame, or sprinkle a small pinch of powdered kelp into soups. Save serving suggestion: start with 1 sheet of nori or a 1/4 teaspoon of kelp powder a few times per week. Caution: people with thyroid disorder should consult their physician before increasing iodine significantly. In esoteric language, imagine the ocean salt like a gentle sluice, rinsing fine sediment from a lens that has grown dull. Second, magnesium-rich foods: dark leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, chia, almonds, and whole grains. Magnesium is a quiet workhorse. It's a cofactor in countless enzymatic reactions and supports healthy sleep cycles by aiding melatonin synthesis pathways. When magnesium is low, the nervous system can remain overexcited, making restful sleep and clear nocturnal signaling harder to achieve. Practical use: blend spinach and a tablespoon of pumpkin seeds into a morning smoothie. Sprinkle chia on yogurt, or toss almonds into a grain bowl. Safe servings: a generous cup of cooked greens, a tablespoon to 2 of seeds, or a small handful of nuts daily. Note that some people absorb magnesium differently. If you consider supplementation, do so with professional guidance. Symbolically, magnesium is like oil for the hinge. It helps the door of perception swing more smoothly. Third, tryptophan-rich seeds and foods: pumpkin seeds again, sesame, spirulina, turkey, and legumes. Tryptophan is an amino acid precursor to serotonin and melatonin. Having dietary precursors available supports the biochemistry of sleep and mood, which in turn supports how the pineal times its signals. Spirulina and other algae are particularly interesting for seekers because they provide concentrated protein, essential cofactors, and a long history of traditional use. Culinary suggestions: roast pumpkin seeds for snacks, add a teaspoon of spirulina to a green smoothie. Start with small amounts, it's potent, or include lentils and turkey in evening meals to support a calm night. Safe servings: a 1/4 to a 1/2 cup of seeds, 1 teaspoon spirulina to start, and standard portions of legumes or lean protein. Cautions: spirulina can interact with certain autoimmune conditions. Check with a clinician if you have concerns. Think of tryptophan as the seed of melatonin, the raw material the gland needs to keep its nightly rhythm alive. Fourth, antioxidant-rich berries and raw cacao. Blueberries, blackberries, elderberry, and high-quality cacao are dense in flavonoids and polyphenols that protect tissues from oxidative stress. Oxidative damage can contribute to many forms of cellular dysfunction across the brain. Protecting neurons and glial cells is a way of supporting the environment in which the pineal operates. Cacao, in its raw or high flavanol forms, provides not only antioxidants but gentle stimulants and mood-supporting compounds in small amounts. Culinary ideas: a bowl of mixed berries with a sprinkle of raw cacao nibs, a dark cacao and berry smoothie, or a handful of frozen berries blended into a morning cup. Safe servings: a half to 1 cup of berries daily, 1 to 2 teaspoons of raw cacao, or a modest square of 70% plus dark chocolate occasionally. Caution: cacao contains stimulants. Keep portions modest in the evening if you are sensitive. Evocatively, antioxidants are like a soft cloth that polishes the inner lens, reducing the scratches that scatter light. Fifth, boron-rich foods: avocado, dates, almonds, prunes, and certain nuts. Boron is a trace element that's been linked in some studies to mineral metabolism and hormone regulation. While research is ongoing, boron-rich diets appear to correlate with favorable mineral balance in some populations. Ref 1. Simple ways to include boron foods: add sliced avocado to salads or toast, snack on a few dates or almonds, or include baked prunes in a dish. Suggested servings: half an avocado a few times a week, or a small handful of nuts and 1 or 2 dates daily. Caution: boron is a trace nutrient. Excessive supplemental dosing is not recommended without professional oversight. Symbolically, boron helps recalibrate the lattice that supports the lens, like a technician tightening the mount. Sixth, omega-3 rich foods: small oily fish like sardines and mackerel, or algae-based omega-3s for plant-based eaters. DHA and EPA are structural components of neuronal membranes and help maintain fluidity and signaling quality. The pineal is not isolated. It sits amid the brain's lipid-rich environment. Ensuring those fats are present and of good quality supports cell signaling and could indirectly help the gland's responsiveness to rhythmic cues. Practical choices: 2 small servings per week of low-mercury oily fish, or daily algae-based omega-3s for vegetarians and vegans after consulting a clinician. Cautions: pregnant or nursing individuals should choose fish carefully for mercury content. When in doubt, choose algae-derived supplements under guidance. Imagine these fats as the clear gel that preserves and transmits light through an optical instrument, essential for fidelity. Seventh, chlorophyll-rich greens and cilantro, plus citrus peel components. Chlorophyll-dense vegetables, parsley, cilantro, wheatgrass, and spirulina again, and compounds in citrus peel, bioflavonoids, are traditionally credited in many cultures with detox-supportive effects. Cilantro in particular has a folklore reputation for supporting gentle elimination of certain metals. Modern science is still investigating mechanisms and efficacy. Ref 2. Incorporating a range of greens and the aromatic zest of citrus introduces both nutrients and phytochemicals that may support systemic detox pathways and antioxidant networks. Culinary tips: fresh cilantro in salsas, a green salad with lemon zest, juiced greens occasionally, or a small green shot made from parsley and cucumber. Suggested servings: a cup or 2 of leafy greens daily, and the zest of half a lemon added to recipes. Caution: concentrated green juices can affect blood pressure or interact with medications. Consult a professional. In symbolic terms, chlorophyll is sunlight stored in plant form. It feeds and cleanses, reminding the inner eye of the living light around us. Each of these foods works best as part of a pattern, not as a single cure. Here's a gentle, integrative protocol to make these changes practical and safe. Aim for variety across the week rather than overdoing any single item. Aim to include at least 3 of these categories in your daily meals over a 7-day rotation. Keep servings modest and culinary focused. Treat these changes as culinary expansion rather than a cleanse. Lifestyle practices to combine with dietary shifts are where the biological and experiential benefits converge. First, light hygiene. Expose yourself to natural daylight early each morning for 10 to 30 minutes when possible. Morning light helps entrain circadian rhythms and supports the natural melatonin cycle that the pineal manages. In the evening, reduce blue light exposure from screens 2 hours before bed. Swap bright overhead lights for warm, dim lamps. Second, sleep regularity. Aim for a consistent bedtime and wake time because the pineal's timing is all about rhythm.
Third, hydration and simple detox support. Drink clean water, favor whole foods over processed ones, and limit fluoride-heavy water sources when practical, if that aligns with your broader health plan and local water safety standards. But always consult local resources and professionals about water treatment. Do not make abrupt changes without guidance. Complement these changes with a soft gaze exercise adapted from long-standing perception practices. This is optional, gentle, and experiential. It is not a ritual or a guarantee of altered states. It's awaited that as small shifts in awareness. Find a quiet, dimly lit room and sit comfortably. Let your eyes relax. Instead of staring at a single point, let the central focus soften as if you are looking through the scene rather than at any one object. Allow the edges of your vision to come alive. Notice shapes and light at the periphery without trying to name them. Breathe slowly and evenly. If thoughts arise, note them and let them pass. Keep this soft focus for a minute or two to begin. You can extend to 5 minutes as you feel comfortable. Afterward, open your eyes and simply notice. Is your sense of contrast different? Is your inner timing calmer? These subtle observations are the point. No pressure, no expectation. Over days and weeks, combining foods that provide minerals, antioxidants, and healthy fats with sleep consistency and gentle perception practice may produce clearer nights, better mood stability, and a heightened sense of subtlety in perception for some people. For others, the benefits will be primarily improved sleep and metabolic resilience. Results vary. A few practical cautions before I close.
Do not interpret diet alone as a replacement for medical care. If you have thyroid disease, autoimmune conditions, are pregnant, nursing, or take prescription medications, check with a healthcare provider before introducing concentrated sea vegetables, spirulina, or new supplements. Avoid overconsumption of any single trace mineral. Do not pursue illegal substances or recommend their use. There is no place for extraction or ingestion instructions here. Keep curiosity and caution together. Why call these foods forbidden? In many cultures, dietary knowledge becomes taboo when industrial food systems commodify convenience and marginalize older foodways. Sea vegetables, bitter greens, and fermented algae became sidelined in modern diets. The forbidden label speaks to cultural neglect rather than inherent danger. Reintroducing them slowly, mindfully, and safely is an act of recovery, recovering access to the nutritional vocabulary our bodies once spoke fluently. In certain ancient writings, figures like Jesus or Mary Magdalene are described in language that suggests deeper perception and inner seeing. Some Gnostic fragments explore those themes. I mention them only to show that across time, people noticed an intimate link between what we eat, how we sleep, and how we perceive. Those texts belong to a complex historical conversation and are not presented here as universal doctrine. Use them as inspiration, not prescription. If you're willing to try this for 7 days, pick 3 foods from this list, include them in varied ways, prioritize natural light in the morning, dim screens at night, and practice the soft gaze once daily. Notice quietly without forcing. If you want the downloadable 7-day food plan with recipes and a printable soft gaze guide, subscribe and follow the link below. A final word about expectations. Change is usually incremental. Some people will notice improved sleep first. Others will find small mood shifts or a clearer sense of morning alertness. For a few, a heightened subtle sensitivity may be part of the mix. None of this is guaranteed. It's an invitation to experiment, observe, and learn. If you try any of this, tell me how it goes. Comment visible below and share what you noticed after 7 days. If you want the full printable protocol with recipes, sourcing tips, and citation links to the research behind the nutrients I mentioned, subscribe and grab the download. Informational only, not medical advice. Consult a healthcare professional. Thank you for walking this path of inquiry with me. Keep curiosity as your guide, and let small, sensible changes open the clarity you seek.